So you know how you didn't come here to get a normal education, go to university and work a 9 to 5, right? If you're watching me, you definitely didn't come to be normal in this world. You also didn't come to get rich and just make loads of money and not have an impact or not help people or whatever. I had a message from an old friend, somebody I'm not really very close to anymore, just very different paths in life. But I had a message the other day. Uh, these little flies are around again. If you watch my last video, I was like ninja trying to take out some flies. Fruit flies, man, they nip too. They just get your ears and stuff. Um, and he commented. He sent me this long message, and it was like talking about how he feels like he's created another trap for himself. This is somebody who makes a lot of money. He's living in Dubai at the moment. Nearly, nearly. Um, Little fuckers. Why they always? I hit record and then they start flying around. They haven't been here at all until just now. Um, anyway, making lots of money, and he said, "I think I've created another. Like I've created a prison for myself. Um, the only thing I know how to do is just amp up everything that I'm doing and make more money." And then I look at the world and it's, more and more chaotic. And what's the solution? Well, for me, it's just make more money. And, now it's multiple seven, if not eight figures a month. It's a lot of money. And he is lost. He's not happy, particularly. He's wearing masks. He's pretending that everything's great because he's got money. And, unfortunately, if you've got money, most people think that you shouldn't have problems. And that's simply not the truth. Most people who have a lot of money are actually struggling with their identity. It's just going to be a feature, I think. As long as I'm staying here in Africa, I think it's just going to be a feature, especially during the rainy season of my videos. So yeah, most people, because when you make money, it validates the identity that made the money, right? So if you are, I don't know, a marketing guy, or you're a trader, or you're whatever you are, if you get good at that, um, it crystallizes the identity that gets those results. And as people say, money just amplifies whoever you already are. But it's not the be all and end all, and it's not why we're here. Nobody, and you might not understand this yet, or you may, but it's the truth. Before you came to this earth, this world, you didn't come here and go, I'm going to try and make as much money as I can. I'm going to try and get as rich as I possibly can. No, when you were not human form, when you were just part of spirit, you didn't give a fuck about money. Not a flying fuck. You didn't give a fuck about anything, actually. You were just in bliss. You were just in love. You were just at one and in peace. That's what the nature of the divine is. It's everything all in one. So it's also chaos and crazy and expansive and, kind of everything, because that's what it is. But it's not little. But the human things that we think about, the fears, the hang-ups, the worries, the concerns, the whatever, none of that is a thing. And certainly not the goals and ambitions that we get when we're here are the thing. So I've been saying to this particular friend, acquaintance, let's call him, because I don't know about friend now. Maybe that'll change again, but certainly hasn't felt like a friendship for a long time. So I said to him, what's fulfilling you? And he's got a couple of kids, and he's got a family and stuff. Not that that's ever, I don't think, quite been something that he's allowed himself to fully feel and be true. But nothing he's doing every day is actually fulfilling him anymore, except for family, which is a great thing. But it's like, especially if you've mastered the money game, you have to figure out what else you're here for. Because if you've mastered the money game, that's an element of the 3D reality that most people in the world struggle with for their entire lives. So if you've mastered the money game, it's like good looking people. If you're born good looking, it's your duty to be kind. It's your duty to be gracious. You have to learn how to be kind and gracious, because being good looking is not something that 90% of people in the world have inherent within them. Of course, we can all improve our looks. We can all become healthier. There's a lot you can do with it when you're tapped into the energy to change your looks. But certainly, if you're born with very good looks, you must honor that and be kind. If you've managed to master the money game, it's your duty to find your purpose. And I don't mean necessarily like, oh, my purpose is to save the world. I'm not talking about this kind of stuff. I guess a better word would be mission. It's your duty to find a mission that has at least a decade of run rate for you, of like leeway for you, and that lights you up. That every single time you focus on it and you give yourself to it, it gives you energy. It's enlivening to you. It doesn't matter if you don't make money from it for even 2, 3, 5 years. If you've mastered the money game, you should find something that you can be absolutely passionate about and absolutely devoted to, that makes a difference and supports a particular group of people in the world or the world at large in some way, so that you can actually be fulfilled. Because there's no better feeling than, like in my world, for example, there's no better feeling than when I get a message from a client, or I see a comment, or I'm in a session with a client or with a group of people, and I see the pop. I see somebody activate and release something from within them that helps them get clarity and sees themselves, so that they can see themselves in a different way. When that clarity moves through and starts to become something that they can orientate around, that to me, that's my crack. Like, that's what I get off on. It's weird to say out loud on YouTube, but it's just the truth. Like, I love it. I love seeing somebody find that thing inside themselves, even if it's just a glimmer, find a true expression, like a moment of just, wow, a deeper breath, a deeper exhale, more them than they've ever been. And with that energy comes clarity of direction, and clarity of action, and clarity of offer and service, and whatever it is that comes from that space is going to be in alignment for them in terms of mission. So I don't really have a message here, except for it to say, if you're one of the lucky people in this world, and I'm not more than luck, if you're one of those highly disciplined people that has mastered the money game in this world, and you're ready to activate the part of you that is actually in alignment with something that fulfills you on a much deeper level, and you're ready to, you don't have to let go of the identity that created the financial success, but you do have to loosen your grip on being that person only, so that you can allow something more fulfilling, true, and aligned to come through. Because and I say this, yeah, I'm just going to say this directly to you. When you're lying on your deathbed, you're not going to give a fuck whether you made another million, 10 million, 100 million, billion, whatever it is for you. You won't give a monkey's. When you're lying on your deathbed, you are going to remember the impact you've had. You're going to remember the people who broke down in tears because of something you did for them. That you're going to remember the smiles on your family's faces at Christmas when you could get them, an experience that money couldn't buy. You're going to remember how big your family is, for example. You're going to remember how much love is around you. You're going to be lying there, and if there are people around you, then that's wonderful. If there's no one around you and you've just got money and things, then you're going to be really fucking depressed. There's so much more to life. Like, money's great, right? Money's a tool. Money allows us to do so much in this world. But if your target is money, if your goal is money, if that's your North Star, because you're doing something where money is the only target you could have, you're going to be sending me text messages like this old friend did, and you're not going to be very happy about it. So yeah, find the things, like, you got to find it within yourself. Just find the things that you light up at, and it might be really nuanced. Like, I don't know that many people that get off on what I get off on. I know a few, but not quite to the level that I do as well. Like, I fucking love, if I'm working with you one-on-one, I'm not really listening to what you're saying. I'm not really listening to like your problems and what's going. I am, but I'm paying much more attention to where you're coming from. I'm paying much more attention to the identity that you've created, both consciously and unconsciously, that is creating the things that you're talking about that you're not happy with. Because it's that when we shift it, and it's very easy to do that once you identify it. It's okay, simple, not necessarily easy. It's simple. then that's where the magic happens. And that's where I start seeing people's eyes light up. That's when I start seeing people actually in that moment sometimes sweat quite a lot, because energy released means that we're purging, we're releasing whatever was holding us back. But generally, there's a smile on someone's face, even if they're crying at the same time, which again is quite common. There's a glint in people's eye that comes back, and then there's just a deep exhale, shoulders drop, and clarity comes, ideas come, inspiration comes, or just an acceptance of this now moment being okay to relax in comes. Because some people, you may have been running on fucking adrenaline for the last 15 years, for all I know. And if you're in that boat, then you need a release valve, which is why I created. Oh, what did I just call it? I came up with a new name for it that I thought was really great, but I can't remember it. I'll remember it and then put it in the description below. But I recorded a guided journey, which is like it's 2.5 hours. There's a workbook that goes with it, and it's a guided journey to take you into yourself and into clarity. And it's using my OEA process, which OEA stands for Optimal Energetic Architecture, and this is a bold statement, but I don't care what your belief system is, what your religion is, what practices you have, how much you've meditated, how much yoga you've done, how much anything. I don't care. It doesn't matter. This is still the foundational thing that happens underneath. When you do any of those things, this is the thing that actually happens underneath it all. So if you actually just shine your light of consciousness on the actual process that's occurring within you, you become far more accurate, far more potent to yourself and therefore to the world. And if that sounds like a fun journey for you to go on, then click below and I'll see you there. And if you're rich and frustrated and you don't know which direction to go in anymore, give me a shout. Let's have a chat. Let's see what is true, what you're actually running on, what is the system that you're running on right now, so that we can see whether or not it's optimal and whether it's actually what is truly for you. Because if you're like many wealthy people in the world right now, you've mastered the money game. It's great, fucking fair play, but it's a tiny part of this whole reality, I assure you.